Hello, beautiful souls. Let me know if you can hear me. I usually like to just check and make sure YouTube is running before I get into it. I hope you guys are doing really good. I'm excited to be here live. I've had a lot of solitude the last couple of days. It's been actually really, really quite nice. So here we are. Dezarey is coming. She had to go pick up her son, and so we'll be about 10 minutes late. But it's okay because I have a lot to talk about with you guys. Tonight is going to be a little bit of astrology, a little bit of tarot, and then I want to go over with you this presentation that I'm going to give on Saturday. But I want to give you some background about the channel first, and then I want to just kind of touch on the presentation a little bit. Audio's going in and out, okay. But not give it all away, because I want you guys to be there. I want you all to come and, okay, the sound is bad. Let me see what I can do. Hang on one second. Connected with microphone. How's that? Is that better? Audio crackly. I can also switch out the camera too if it's okay. Maybe a little bit better. I don't know. How's it sound? Okay, well, I'm not getting any more feedback. Well, so let's see. Let me see what's going on the monitor. Okay. Oh, hello, Ultimus Hastings. Okay, not better, sorry. All right, let me try this. Be right back, don't go anywhere. Okay. Let's try this now. Anywhere. Okay, is that better? Can I hear myself? So, wonder why it's doing that. Is that better? Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Why it's doing that? Okay, stand by, guys. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Okay, I'm trying that. Okay, stand by, guys. Okay. Try that. Okay, stand by, guys. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's happening. Let's see, maybe I can go to audio and phone. External. Okay. Is this any better? Let's see. Maybe I can go. Well, I guess I can sing for you guys until we figure it out. I don't know. It could be the internet. So maybe, I don't know if I should maybe stop the stream or try again with a different connection. Until we figure it out. I don't know. It could be the internet. I feel like that's better. So maybe, I don't know if I should maybe stop the stream or try again with a different connection. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, sweet. All right, good. Well, I'm glad Dezarey was late because that's better. Now I can, now I've got feedback from my monitor. But, all right, cool. Let me shut this monitor off and then I'll get into it. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. This is how it goes with live streams sometimes, you know. You just have to kind of go with it and see what happens. Not be too attached to it, I guess. So anyway, I'm just really glad to be here. I'm glad it's working out. I'm glad y'all can hear me. I am very much looking forward to sharing with you tonight part of a presentation that I'm going to give on Saturday. I wanted to give you a little bit of background about the channel that I'm going to, because the things that I'm going to be talking about are a little bit different than what I talk about with astrology. There's almost this underlying pattern to the universe that, you know, as a seeker and someone that's always trying to learn something new and try to find out, you know, what this world's about, what the universe is about. When you find these subtle patterns, it's nice to find people that also see them. And so when I go to this channel, I'm going to speak about these things. I touch on it a little bit when I talk to you guys, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So the parts of the presentation tonight will have that in it. I think Dezarey was going to come around at about 10 after, maybe quarter after. So what we'll do is maybe look at some astrology. I was going to have her pull some tarot cards on the astrology. There's some very interesting energy going on right now. The things that come to mind are, this is eclipse season. On the 17th of this month, which is, what's today, the 5th? So in like 12 days, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. That will be in the constellation of Pisces. And then it'll be a full moon. And then after that, we will have the solar eclipse on October 2nd. This is a big eclipse. Eclipses actually are disruptions in the energetic flow. They are what we call pattern breaks. And there is actually a constant that is associated with, I guess, how events play out. So forward, backward in time, it's associated with the spiral and the circle. So pi and phi are associated with it. And when you apply these numbers and these constants to certain known numbers, like, for example, the orbital period of Mercury and Venus and Saturn and the moon and things like that, you get some very interesting synchronicities play out. And I think that this constant, which I'm calling the Phoenix constant, maybe, it shows how many cycles you have to go through in order for a pattern break to take place. And when you can consciously be aware of these cycles and you know a pattern break is coming for you, sometimes it's better to do it yourself, to make a conscious choice of what pattern you're going to break so that, you know, things don't happen to you. And that's kind of why I study astrology. That's kind of I mean, it is why it shows you the patterns that are going on around us, and you can actually moderate your own frequency in order to match in these frequencies in order to have a destructive or a constructive interference with, which can be very helpful. I think Dezarey's here, you guys. Let me get her in. All right.
Hey, ooh, little off center there.
You sound good to me. I had 5 minutes of sound that I could not get out. It was terrible.
Oh goodness, I got to put in my headphones. 1 second. I guess we're all having technical difficulties, right?
I think so. I think so.
All right.
So yeah, I was just sort of getting everybody prepped for what we wanted to talk about, and then I was going to go into the weekend I just had, traveling to West Virginia. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My stepdaughter and her husband and son live in West Virginia, and she works for West Virginia University. So we got to go to a game, Penn State versus West Virginia U, and it was hot. Oh my God, it was so hot. It was unseasonably hot for that time of year. Yeah, and then halfway through the game, the skies opened up with rain, and we walked about, I don't know, maybe 12 minutes to the car, and we had to stop and wait for the rain to pass under a picnic area.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's not as, is it hotter over there than it is here? Because
it's cooler and drier. And so the day that I left, it was, I don't know, like it got up to 81 maybe, but it was so dry and the air was clear and crisp. It was really, really fun. And they just got a puppy, a little German Shepherd.
Oh, I love puppies. Did yeah.
She was adorable. Oh my gosh, so sweet. Just everything has to go in the mouth, like a baby.
Right. Yes. Like a baby. Exactly. It's awesome. I love puppies. I love puppy breath. I love kittens. I mean, I just, and then when they get older, I'm like, oh, you get on my nerves. But I still love them. They're just, they get you when they're smaller. And then that's when you're like, oh, I'm going to take you home and take care of you for the rest of your life. And then you've got a cat for like 10 years, but
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm done with pets when my sweet girl passes on. It's so much heartbreak, and you get to a point in your life when you're like, okay, I've done my share. I don't know, that maybe that's just me.
Well,
I might be still talked into it. I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm sorry I switched the day on you. I know we've been doing Wednesdays, but last night I had to finish out the Lunar Nodes and Evolutionary Destiny class. So summer school is officially over. We went from 7/7 to basically now, and the first class was about a month of business and financial astrology with 2 live Q&A sessions. Then Don Tack, who is Don Bird, he does the dailies on the fellowship on the Facebook group, and he taught that course for us. He did over 7 hours of content, and we did our live Q&A last night.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So I thought I was going to help with that last night. That's what was the confusion.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, you could have come. You could have come. We just it was an intimate group. We kind of went over each other's charts and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So the next class, you guys. Oh, this is going to be so good. So when we think of Uranus in astrology, we think of the astrologer. So Uranus, Aquarius, the 11th house, it's all associated with sort of technology, metaphysics, and the astrologer. So electrifying energy. So if you have a well-placed Uranus, so let's say you have Uranus in Pisces in your 10th house, you might be a very good astrologer. If you have Uranus in Ophiuchus in your 2nd house, that might signal you to be, called to astrology. So likewise, I have Jupiter in Aquarius in my 10th house. So I am sort of the preacher of astrology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So the next class is going to be on Uranus, and Michael Hartigan, Uma Stella of One Sky Astrology is going to co-teach that with me. And it's going to be a live class that will be recorded, and that recording will be available as a module later, but we usually roll them out live. And so it's really nice because in the live classes, we have a little bit of talk beforehand. We look at the current astrology, then we get into a presentation. And what we'll do with Michael is, we'll get his deep and amazing insight into Uranus. This guy is intelligent. I mean, he melts my brain every time I talk to him. So this should be a really nice experience. I don't have a link for that yet, y'all, but I just wanted to get everybody excited about it because that is coming, and I'll be, telling everybody about that shortly.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I pronounce Uranus. I know that's not the right way, but I don't know. Yes, I can't stop. I try because, Uranus doesn't sound
right. There's lots of different ways. Uranus or something like that was the, it was the Greek god Kronos. So, well, not Kronos. Uranus was married to Gaia, and then Uranus and Gaia had Saturn or Kronos. And then I think that the sons of Saturn were Jupiter and some other guys. So anyway, I'm not, I don't have my mythology in front of me, but yeah, so Uranus is kind of like the last planet, the cosmic planet, the planet of our consciousness. It's about individuality. It's about freedom. It's about rebellion. And I just
sort of changing things up. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Metamorphosis. Yeah. So we're gonna dive deep into Uranus, and that's gonna be. I know the date though. It'll be October 4th. It's a Friday night. Plan for about 3 hours, I think, if you want to join this class, because I think we're gonna just take our time and really get into the discussion. Take breaks and stuff like that. I mean, what else do cosmic nerds do on a Friday night? Study astrology
on a Friday, right?
Right.
I know. So is it going to be? I have one more last question, and then we can switch subjects. Is it going to be like your lives? When I think I was in one of the first few classes that you did live, the Ophiuchus live.
Yes.
Is it going to be like that, or is it going to be on YouTube?
It'll be on a private Zoom call.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just like we did with Ophiuchus. Yeah. Okay. And when you did it, I didn't have the course website that I do now. And so it's so much easier to actually access these courses. When you put the live module in there, it links directly to Zoom. And so the student can just click on the module, open up the Zoom link, and it'll say, go to meeting. And then you click on that, and it opens it up for you.
Oh,
usually the night before, I'll also send the Zoom link with the password, because inevitably people miss that.
Right. So, okay. Yeah. All right. So do we sign up on your website, or
when I have the link? I don't have it set up yet.
Okay.
I gotta create the shell of it. So
okay. Well, I think I would like to be there. I need to know a little bit more about Uranus.
Uranus.
And
it always makes you laugh too.
Yeah. It does, and I'm just like, oh, that's shouldn't say that.
Right.
So it's Bliss. Hi, it's Bliss.
Yep, she enjoys.
She's one of your regulars, right?
Yes, ma'am. We are getting a core group of regulars, and I love that, because you guys, after Saturday, we're going to have some new people coming in. We're going to have an influx of folks, people that are ready for this kind of information. So I'm really excited. At least I hope. That's my hope. And so you guys will be able to give me some feedback on this presentation. If it's too much, not enough, The other thing is the person that I'm speaking with is a very unique individual, very strong presenter, just a powerhouse when you're with them. And so I think we're going to go into a lot of tangents. And so I don't know if I need to be as organized as I am. It's just kind of my one of my protective mechanisms when I go into a place where I might be nervous. I just have to get really organized and ready, ready for anything,
I can understand that. I saw one of his lives. He had a Native American. He studied with Castaneda, I guess. I don't know too much about.
Oh, yes, I saw that one.
But I caught that live, yeah, and I was interested in the subject matter, and also he is a very he's like off the cuff type of thing, but then he kind of reels it back in and gets you back on track. So I like the flow, and I think I listened the entire time. So he kept me engaged and captivated, which is important.
The funny thing is I heard about him from an astrologer. I watched a couple of videos, and I was immediately turned off because he talks about this astrological event that is coming in 2040 that could be an end of the world as we know it kind of an event. And I thought, oh my God, here's another doomsday predictor. I don't have time for this. Like, I love living life right now. I'm not worried about what's going to happen in 2040, next. And so then another astrologer pointed him out and said, the history of astrology, you have to check this out. And I watched this video called Tetrabiblios, and it was written by Ptolemy, and it came out the same time as the 4 books of the Bible. And then I was like, okay, wait a minute. This guy does not like us. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that there's several different kinds of astrology, and he held up a little sculpture of the zodiac wheel, and he said, this is like a Cracker Jack's decoder ring for the Bible. And I was like, whoa, okay, there's some opinion. So I kept listening, and then he's also got this part of his work is sort of spiritual guidance, encouraging people to tap into the immortal within, and I really resonate with a lot of that. I really, really do. I'm like, okay. I mean, some other things I don't agree with, like, I'm not sure, like the whole round earth, flat earth thing. I have some theories about why it's perceived differently. I have an open enough mind where if, the evidence is compelling enough to look at it differently, I'm happy to do that. But I've never been in space myself. You're open to observe it. I just, all the other luminaries look like circles to me. So, So I have a thought behind that. I might go into it when we get into our discussion, but it's things like that. So it should be really interesting because he does say that it's not the astrology, it's the astrologer that's important. And so he doesn't actually put down people. He puts down the tools that they're using. Not even putting it down, just saying it's came from this, and maybe you want to relook at it. And so I think his audience would be open enough to, and I see a lot of them going, oh, well, you're a Gemini and I'm a Leo and all this. And I'm like, no. So,
probably most people don't even really understand that there's constellations out there that are bigger than what the actual zodiac says, the 30-degree thing. I was blown away by that when I found out a couple of years
bigger
ago.
And smaller, bigger and smaller.
Right. And so I think the audience is going to be interested to hear that aspect of it. And then once they find out that Ophiuchus is there, they're going to be wait a minute, why are we being lied to? Why is that hidden?
It's it's the 13th sign. And for me personally, Ophiuchus is the ascended master energy. It's like our keys to the kingdom, our keys to ascend. And it's left out of the zodiac, and it's kind of left out of the Bible. There's a lot that I'm not putting the Bible down. There's a lot of good information in the Bible, and there's a lot of good information in the tropical zodiac. But there's other books, right? There's more information. And I think that the real sky offers that. So it's super interesting. He's convinced he's a Gemini sun. Someone told him that, and I was like, rats, they got to you. But he did allow me to look at his chart to pull his data, and he's in fact for his son. So I'm looking forward to blowing his mind and saying, you're.
Are you going to break it down a little bit for him and maybe explain?
I think I would do that. I mean, he does understand it, on a 30,000 foot view. But I thought maybe I would start with kind of the basics, like why do we look at the zodiac? What does it mean? Is it why just these constellations as opposed to all the other ones, that sort of thing?
All the other ones, I'm excited. Yes.
So I'll do that at the end.
So we're going to go through all of that content.
We'll do that at the end. No, let's do that at the end. I want to do. Are you? You're freezing up on me. Oh no. I don't know where Dezarey went. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Technology is not my friend today, you guys. I don't know what is going on here. Maybe I'll send her a text and let her know what's happening. Oh, there she goes. Let's see if she came back. Here she's back. Okay.
I can hear you. I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
I've got 3 kids downstairs, so they might be eating up all of my bandwidth, or we supposedly subscribe to the biggest package, but
Yeah, I mean, I had trouble too connecting when I got on as well. So, all right. Well, no, what I was thinking we do is just kind of take a look at this week's energy in the sky,
Okay.
the cards, and then for those of you that are diehard fans, can stay and kind of give me feedback on the presentation if you're interested. Also, if you are going to join us on Saturday, y'all, it's Saturday at 3 p.m. Central. And I will send out notifications and all that good stuff. But if you want to chat with us during the live, you have to be subscribed to the channel. So I'm going to actually put that in here right now in the live chat for you guys, so you guys can go and subscribe. That way, on Saturday when you're there, you can say, "Hey, what's up, Dr. Danny? Love you." You know, that kind of stuff. X138. So yeah, if you just like do youtube.com and then the / and put the @RKX138, that'll take you right to his channel.
Okay.
If you're not
Yeah,
already.
I subscribed already.
Cool. All right, let me see. Let's look at the sky. It always just sort of calms me down and makes me feel good. So we'll share the screen. Let me know if you have any trouble seeing anything. Entire screen. All right, good. We'll go to the sky. How does that look?
I can see it. Yep. I see Spica, the
Cool.
moon, and Venus.
Yeah, so that's like tonight. This is right after sunset. So if you guys have a clear sky, I do not, but if you have a clear sky anywhere in the world that you are, this is just a really spectacular sight to behold. Venus is the evening star. She is going to be in a higher and higher position each night as the sun, each day as the sun sets, she'll appear higher and higher in the sky. And every month when we get a new moon, we will also have the couple of days after the new moon, a crescent moon or a waxing crescent. So it's a beautiful sight to see just sort of this sliver of the moon right next to Spica, and Venus is right there. And then if you look just a little bit to the south or to the left, you'll see the Milky Way, the galactic center.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't see that here in Houston. I've never seen that actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to just drive out a little bit to to where there's no light, just so you know, especially when it's new moons, because then you won't have any ambient moonlight. But if you can, it's really cool, and you can actually see Scorpio. You can look. You kind of have to crane your neck a little bit, but you can see Ophiuchus, and then this teapot, which is Sagittarius, but my husband calls it a house or something like that. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, so that is the evening, and then let's. I love this program. Let's flip to the morning. See what that looks like. Because right before dawn is also quite a sight. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So yeah, about 4:30 in the morning, if you guys are up early, or if you're on the other side of the world, you can look to the eastern sky before the sunrise and see the brightest star, Sirius, rising. You can also see Orion, and you can see Mars in between the constellation of Taurus and Gemini. And then if you crank your neck up a little bit, you can see the Pleiades. So the skies are just gorgeous. So if you need some inspiration, if you need a break from, all the terrible things that are going on in the world, that is where you go. Just go to the sky, and hopefully it'll cheer you up, or at least help you have some perspective.
Find some solace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This thing will not let me. Oh, there we go. I wanted to pull up my PowerPoint, but it won't let me do it. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to go back and share again. Get that up. There we go. And then this will give us the calendar. Let me share. Hang on. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Entire screen, share. Okay. Cool. All right. So, do you see this calendar?
Yes, definitely seen that before.
Cool. So we're like right here. which is nice. There's not a whole lot of energy. This is the Venus calendar, but it points out a couple of interesting aspects that we're sort of dealing with this week. And one of them is this Mars in Gemini. This threshold between Taurus and Gemini is called the Silver Gate. It's exactly 180 degrees opposite of the galactic center.
Okay.
Okay, so it's literally across the sky. And it's called the Silver Gate, while the galactic center is called the Golden Gate. And the reason they're called gates is because they are the nodal points where the ecliptic of the galaxy and the ecliptic of the solar system cross one another.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
if you've got the disk of the galaxy, then you've got the disk of the solar system, and it kind of sits at an oblique angle to it. And so
Mhm.
the galactic center is is the node where it crosses, and the other side is also a node. Now, when we talk about nodes, they're important because they're for eclipses, right? So we're having this eclipse coming, both on the 17th and the 2nd, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. Why does the moon get shadowed? Why does the moon shadow the Earth? It's because it's at the nodal point of the moon's ecliptic and the solar system ecliptic. So you have all these disks kind of piled in on each other, right?
Right. And they all kind of have their own angle, right? They're all
Mm-hmm.
kind of
And so
angled.
that point where they cross is a node. And a lot of times you can look at that as an energetic portal. You can look at it as the way they look at it with the north node and the south node. And we just learned this when we did the lunar nodes class, is that basically the south node is where energy is drained from. And the north node is where energy comes in. And you get almost like this toroidal movement of energy coming from the top,
Mm.
through the top, and down and out the bottom, which is very
Mhm.
similar to how electromagnetic energy moves around our own heart, around our own brain, around the planets and their magnetic fields. So these are energetic points that the planets will pass over. And Venus is on the moon's nodes right now. Okay.
Mhm,
So she is
mhm.
currently in Virgo on the south node and opposing the north node because they are also 180 degrees. So when you take two hula hoops of different sizes and you just kind of turn their plane, you get the
Mhm.
point where they cross. And that's where she is right now. So
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
so we have that. And then Mars is, like I said, at that, galactic ecliptic with the solar system ecliptic node on the Silver Gate, the opposite of the galactic center, but is forming this geometric shape called a yod, or it's a triangle. Basically, they call it the finger of fate or the finger of God, and it's aspecting to Pluto and Lilith. So I thought we could. I'll just pull up a chart and we could look at that. But one more thing I wanted to point out was that the eclipse point prior to this coming eclipse is today. I don't know of any events that have been happening because I haven't been watching the news. I've been in, like I said, in a bliss of solitude here the last few days. So I tend to not look at the media, but I've kind of scanned the headlines. There's stuff going on. I'm not sure what this means yet, but I think that the
Okay.
second's going to be pretty powerful, and I think that this moon right here, this full moon with the lunar eclipse, is also going to be very powerful. The sun will have finally moved into Virgo, because it's not there yet. It's still in Leo, very much. Summer's not quite over until the sun enters Virgo right here, which is
Can
funny.
you can you
Yeah,
explain what the eclipse point is?
yeah. So when you look at where the sun and moon will be on this new moon, which is a solar eclipse, it is 17 degrees of Virgo, and
Mhm.
that is where the moon is today. It's really quick.
Mm.
Passes right over
17.
that point. So
Okay.
it's saying, okay, this is moon energy going over where the next eclipse is coming. I want to see if there's any
Okay.
kind of predictive value. What I've found is that it's more of a 3-month thing. So it's not necessarily the 27 days before. It's a 3-month and a 5-month thing. So
Mm. Do
yeah.
you keep a journal, like, of what's going on with the sky versus what's happening here?
I would say that I probably do because when I get ready for a video, I will make notes. I'll set up a list of things that I want to talk about, and
Mhm.
that'll be in there. Yeah, and
Wow,
then of
okay.
course the videos.
Awesome.
So
Yes, yes.
So
Wow.
yeah, so let's look at this chart then. Let's see what we're looking at here. So this is today, like right around now when we started it, and I cannot draw, but can you see my cursor okay?
I can see it, yes.
All right, so what you're going to see is Mars right here at this portal or this node, and making a quincunx, which is this angle right here, to Pluto, and another quincunx to asteroid Lilith. And then the two of them have what's called a sextile between them. So you get this sort of triangle shape. And so this is basically what this means is that there's a gift between these two with the sextile, and then there's a challenge to overcome. All right. And I feel like humanity as a collective is literally living this. We are all being activated and called to our purpose, called to an action of sorts. But at the same time, it's almost like it's a spiritual battle that we're being called to. Not necessarily like go out and take physical action in the world, but more of a controlled energy within the self, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what I see, because Mars is also doing a square to Venus and to Neptune, which are in an opposition, or their opposition just broke up. But basically what you get when you have these two together opposing one another is what's real, what's the delusion here? You know, what am I sinking my creative teeth into? What am I allowing myself to be aroused or inspired by? And so Mars is in the middle of that. Like, is this real? Is this towards my true purpose? And, you know, to have Pluto, who is, you know, the digger of deep truths, you know, the underworld, bringing out the truth, and Lilith having this instinctual energy in the sign of Libra, which is balance, harmony, justice, that sort of energy. So there's almost a call to our own inner sense of justice. What's fair? What's good for me? What's good for the other? What's good for the collective? If I stand up here and take a risk, is it for this illusion, or is it for something real that's actually, you know, worth it? So like, yeah, I just feel like people are torn. You know, they want to do something, but they're not sure if they can. And I think the answer is at these cosmic portals here, right? At the galactic center, and the arm of its most outward galactic limb that we can see from this point. So yeah, so that's what I feel with that. How does that feel for everybody?
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yes. That's amazing. I really like your style of reading. You know, would this be called evolutionary astrology?
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know
It's more
either.
for the collective. You know, if someone were born at this very moment that this chart has been generated for 6 p.m., the way that I would read it might be a little bit different. I'm just sort of thinking of the person standing in the middle of this, which is us collectively being pulled by these energies. You know, so we're standing here in the middle, and we've got a very powerful point here with Mars making this T square and being in this finger of fate. You know, it just feels very powerful, but it feels like a lot of inner work. You know, I mean, I think you can engage with the collective if you want to, but you necessarily don't have to.
Right. And it all kind of depends where you are in your life's path, right?
Right.
A teenager is not going to be thinking about this in the way that
Oh,
we would be.
right.
So,
Right.
yeah. Yes.
This Lilith opposing Uranus is an energy of breaking your pattern. So it's actually a very interesting that it's like this. And then in a couple of days, I'm going to actually come out and start talking about things that I don't usually talk about, to see, you know, how people feel about it. And if they resonate with it, then we'll get more folks on board. So stepping outside of a comfort zone, breaking the pattern, metamorphosizing it, grounding it into your reality. That's what this is right here.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Mercury is T-squaring that too. So there's a tension here with how do we communicate publicly? You know, how do we express ourselves? What sort of words do we use? What media do we use to do it with? Do we have help, you know, with seventh house? Well, it's not really the houses you really kind of have to ignore when you're doing a general reading. For a personal reading, you would bring into the seventh house. So if this were actually a real person, then they would be seeking a partner that communicates expressively. So that's how you would read it for, you know, a natal
A
chart.
person. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But for the public in general, it's, oh, how do I express myself in this new way that I'm breaking pattern? What's the new way of doing it? You know. And then this last one here is Saturn opposing the sun. So we have this authoritative energy, a fatherly type of control energy, opposing the freedom and the expression energy of the sun, which is Leo, because the sun's still there. So yeah, a lot of collective energy being pulled. You know, sometimes when you want to know what transits are doing specifically for you, like you were saying, you were a little discombobulated. Well, when your chart is, you know, this Virgo with all of this stuff in it, and the moon is just basically playing all your chords this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Literally like a
probably,
guitar.
yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, but you know, me and the moon are friends, so that's why I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this to me, moon? I thought we were friends here.
Yeah. The moon is very, very interesting. So,
Yes.
so cool.
But definitely, you know, I feel the moon is something that shines a light on something that we're not necessarily seeing, right? It's like that light in the darkness, I feel. So perhaps there's something that I need to see that perhaps I'm doing, not doing to help me um, what is that, evolve into a better person, or just in whatever it is I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Virgo tends to want to constantly improve things too.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, that's me. I am like always trying to do everything in the most efficient manner. Like if I'm going to the fridge, I will put everything that needs to go to the fridge and I will load it all up so I only need to go one time.
Cool. All right. Do you want to pull some cards on the collective energy?
Yeah, yes,
Maybe
I
this coming
do. Let's
eclipse.
see
I don't know,
where
whatever
see
spirit
over
has to say,
here.
whatever we're
Okay.
feeling.
Awesome. Oh, my candle went out. Did you see this new piece of furniture I got back here?
Is that new? All right.
Yes, I had to move this upstairs from downstairs, and I decided to put all my tarot decks in there. So I'm in the process of moving everything um, upstairs into this cabinet right here. So, all right. So I'm using the Tarot Avatara again, the same
Okay.
one we used last time.
I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. I am. There's so much in this deck, and it's a Thoth based deck, and
Okay.
I've not normally used Thoth, so it's been really interesting for me. All right, let me switch view here. Camera. No, where is it?
I think it's under settings where you switch camera.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, there we go. All right, let's just see what comes up.
All right. Let me put you there. Nope. Let me put you there and here. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Can y'all hear the shuffle? I really love the way this deck shuffles.
They seem kind of floppy.
No, they're not floppy at all. They just like flip out of the hand. They flip out of my fingers, and then there's a little bit of a texture onto on the cards, and so it makes a nice noise. It feels really good. And I just love shuffling this deck, and I think my mic kind of drowns out those little subtle noises, and so I don't think it's going to come across on the video or the live. So, all right, let's see. What do we need to know for this upcoming celestial happenings? All right, so we've got the Fool. Oh, wow. So this card is connected to Uranus.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
And we've got the Six of Wands in reverse. So this is fire energy. And Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. So, oh, wow. This Eight of Cups really is nice. Check this out. It's like she is in some sort of womb here, and she's got a black heart. And the Eight of Cups is a card of letting go, of realizing what you're working with, what you've been doing is no longer serving you. And it's about that letting go, but with a sadness, right? It's not something you necessarily want to let go, but you find that it's in your best interest. And like I said, the Fool has the Uranus energy. And see, I caught myself, made sure I wasn't saying it the other way.
Uranus.
Yes, it has the Uranus energy, which the Fool is all about testing the horizons, working almost like a childlike energy, right? And not being held back, not being jaded, and just going forth with that childlike curiosity and exploring. We do have the Six of Wands here, and it's in reverse. And I've not seen this card before, but it looks like she's actually writing on this wand, and it looks like she's going somewhere. And generally, the Six of Wands, I'm not quite sure what it means in the Thoth deck, but the energy that I'm getting from this card is it might be time to sort of take a step back and take a look at what it is that you are trying to achieve, what it is that you are trying to go and get, right? Make sure it's the right path. And the combination of all of these cards, we've got childlike energy, exploration, and then we've got making sure that you're on the right path and doing what you want to do, but also leaving things behind. So it's kind of like we are moving forward, but we're moving forward with trepidation, and we're deciding on the way as we're moving forward what it is that we need to let go, what it is that's no longer serving us. This card here is a little bit darker in hue. It's more gray tone, where these are a lot brighter. So I feel that there are some energies that are heavy and holding us down just a little bit, and we need to be cognizant of that, figure that out, and decide whether or not it's really something that we want to continue to work on, or if it's something we need to compassionately let go. And do you see anything? Do you feel anything with these cards? I love your intuition.
I mean, I'm just like, wow, because I feel like I'm feeling that. People are feeling that. Some people that I follow their work, they're going through like a transformation in how they
Mhm.
present. They're questioning, is what they're providing a value? The way that they're doing it, is it valuable? And so I feel like a lot of people, when they get into that state of questioning, get a little bit uneasy, right? Like
Mhm.
you feel like you're being knocked off your broom a little bit because you thought
Right, and
it,
it's like she's riding a broom here.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you thought you had it all figured out, but then you're knocked off your broom a little bit because there's a discontentment that's seeping in. And I think I think it's all part of that pattern break energy that we're all feeling. It's like, is it truly the individual that we are? Is it coming from an authentic place? So I agree. Yeah, this is good. I love that Eight of Cups, because when I think about the Eight of Cups in the Rider-Waite, it's that isn't it the guy going into the cave?
With his cups stacked in a
Mm-hmm.
pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
and
he's like, I'm over it. I'm just gonna put it behind me,
right.
that kind of thing.
And there is
So,
an emotional attachment to it because it's in the suit of cups. There's an emotional attachment, but this is showing self-love, I think, in saying that, hey, this is no longer serving me, and I care for you, but I'm going to compassionately disconnect, because it's not helping me. It's not helping me move forward. So I say take this energy of the Fool. Don't get down by the past. Don't get weighed down by mistakes that you've made, or things that necessarily didn't go your way. Go forward with the Fool's energy, and you want to explore. You want to expand. You want to maybe shake things up a little bit, and go in a childlike manner.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Very
what I
nice.
have.
I like that.
Thank you.
All right. Yes.
All right, let me switch back.
It's so true. We're just all working through it, going through it, trying to get it. So yeah. I had a thought and then I lost it. That's okay.
It'll come back.
Good. All right. We're going like, I think if people are willing to hang out, I'm willing to kind of show them this PowerPoint and see what Saturday is going to feel like. Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. Those of you that are watching, Dezarey is going to watch the chat if you have any feedback for me.
Yes, I'm going to practice my moderation skills here.
Yeah, and just call out if I miss something. Okay, so I think I will share the screen.
Yeah, so you guys in the chat, if y'all have any questions, you need Dr. Danny to explain something, maybe there is something that needs to be switched around. If you have any comments, let us know so she can take that into consideration and maybe move some things around.
Oh my gosh, this thing's driving me crazy. Like my menu bar won't come up when I have the screen share on. So, okay, let's try this again. All right.
Thing at the bottom.
There we go. Okay, we're back. All right.
Right.
So I'm calling this, yeah, thanks. I'm calling this talk, the Astrology is the Collision of History and Geometry. Because really what astrology is, the reason that we have the interpretations that we have for the certain archetypes is because we look at the sky, we notice when things happen, we document that. So it's almost like a record-keeping book, so to speak, for human behavior, events, collective events, crazy things that are happening. All of these things can be monitored and noted in the sky. So you can say, oh, when I had this car crash, the Mars was in this constellation. And so then you might notice that Mars has to do with accidents, okay? And so it's how it's developed over time. So it's a historical account of the cycles of the planets and things that happen. And I'm going to give a little bit of my history when I talk to him, you guys know, but basically, that medicine kind of showed me these cycles. When I put 2 and 2 together, I realized that astrology, when you look at the sky, it's really nothing more than, this silly name calling of the constellations. You guys see that?
Yes.
So Aquarius is a camel, Aries is a cane, Cancer is a slingshot, Capricorn's a cup. It's basically, the name we give it, the energy that we give it now. There's a little bit less of the, there are people that do study and bring that into their practice. But I can promise you that there's a majority of astrologers out there that have never even looked at the sky and are giving you readings. Not sure really what it's based on. It could be based more on aspects than anything else. But, when we give it these names, it really is actually arbitrary. There's a concept called pareidolia, where your perception is such that what you see in patterns or what you see, like you can look at a rock face and see, Jesus, or you can see, a peanut butter toast or something like that. But then it said that pareidolia is a type of apophenia. Okay. Now, Archaics talks about the phoenix and apocryphon and all these energies that are associated with phoenix and all these different names. And so I had to look up what apophenia was. And it's the tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated things. And so this is exactly what I'm going to endeavor to do. At this point, if I'm talking to him and he's open to it, I'm going to see if he can go ahead and just give us a brief history of astrology. I'll actually extend an invitation to him to come and do the longer talk with us at some point if he's willing to. So, but he is going to hopefully give you guys a nice chunk of time, probably about 15 or 20 minutes, where he will talk about the actual history of the zodiac that we currently use in Western tropical astrology. And he basically called it the Cracker Jacks decoder ring of the Bible. And when we hear about this story, you guys will see why. And so really the biggest thing about astrology as an astrologer in these times, as someone seeking the wisdom of an astrologer, it's really personal. You know, you can decide who you want to work with, but ultimately whatever system they're using, if it resonates with you, it works. Okay. But it can also profoundly change who you are, how you move through the world. I know that when I discovered my true stars, everything changed for me. The way that I deal with my patients changes. I still notice the cycles in the sky. My relationships with my friends, with my partner, it all changed. It all got better. My world just keeps getting better and better every day because I know where things actually are. Now, whether or not you believe the sky is the sky or if the earth is flat or round, you know, it doesn't matter. It's still, you know, you're given an assignment, so to speak, at birth in this Western tropical system that puts you basically in a club based on what month you're born, because it's every 30 days. You know, it's not lining up to the actual sky. So for me, you know, I actually typed this in the other day. I asked the Bing AI, I said, what's my sun sign, 8/4? And it said, your sun sign is Leo, right? And so my whole life I was told I was a Leo sun. So I said, all right, so this is me. This is someone who's expressive, who's out there, who's extroverted. You can ask my husband that whenever I had a big party to go to or to give a big presentation, that I was literally a nervous wreck, never really resonated with the energy of Leo in terms of how I express myself, you know? So it always kind of steered me away from it. But then I noticed the cycles with people and working with them in medicine, and I just couldn't help but be drawn to it. And so I said, I'm going to finally study this. I'm going to study astrology. And I started to. And then it was my birthday, probably about 5 years ago. And I took this app, the night sky, and I pointed it up to the sun because it'll give you a computer generated image of the sky where everything is. And there it is, sun and moon in Cancer on August 4th. Right? So I said, oh my gosh, is this thing broken? You know, like I had to shake it. I had to check my everything, make sure my settings were all right. It took me into a rabbit hole spiral and I haven't looked back since. And so the reason I want to bring this to people's attention, because I want them to see it, is because it's very quite likely possible that this zodiac that we're all working in popular Western tropical astrology is a nice decoder ring, like you say, like we said, but at the same time, it's also the thing that's keeping us from truly expressing who we are, what we're meant to do, and how we're supposed to move through this existence, however you choose to perceive it. So I'm a Cancer sun.
We've got somebody in here, iMystic. He's from my channel. And
oh, cool.
So hi, iMystic. He says decoder ring Caesar cipher. I'm not quite sure. Does that mean anything to you? Do you know?
I think when Jason talks, it will. When he goes into his, when we go off on that tangent about the history of astrology, I think that he will definitely speak to that. It's super interesting. And also the months that we have are a little bit off. They've added 2 months. September is supposed to be the 7th month, not the 9th month. So there's a little bit of that there too. It's very confusing. We've been set up to like not be able to perceive. And I think, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I am going to sound like one. I'm going to sound like somebody that maybe has this problem, apophenia. But, you know, when you run into synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity, and you listen to people that are making these discoveries sort of at the same time, you begin to wonder, are we co-manifesting it, or are we co-discovering it or rediscovering it? I'm not really sure.
Right. And I do have a question about the zodiac signs. I think I read people who are for the reading using tropical style. They say that at one point the sky lined up to tropical, and now that because of precession, we're off a little bit. But the zodiac signs are all 30 degrees. So how could it possibly ever have lined up?
Well, so what they used, and I'll get into this, what they used was the spring equinox. I'm telling you, once once we came out of the Dark Ages around 552, when that we had the canonized Bible, once we came out of those Dark Ages and the Roman Catholic Church basically took over everything, the first thing that was hacked, so to speak, is the study of the stars. They gave us this perfectly symmetric 30-degree codex ring that did line up with the spring equinox back then, and we went with it. And then slowly but surely, the ancient knowledge was, the books were burned, people were murdered, people that looked in the sky and spoke about how it might really be were, shunned and put off to the edge of society. So that's what happened.
Right.
But what's so great about tropical astrology is that because we were able to take it out of the sky and just do it in books and in secret and in symbols, we were able to preserve some of the knowledge that's crucial to our evolution and our eventual ascension.
Right. My lineage, my family's from Mexico, and so we've got, of course, the Native American, Mesoamerican blood, and so when the Catholics came over to our side, they destroyed all of our history, and the Mesoamericans were really into astrology and healing, and they used the stars a lot, and so that's one of my frustrations is like, oh, all that great knowledge is just gone. It's just evaporated in history, and so that's one of the frustrating things that I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Right. Well, I think the beautiful thing about our ability to communicate as a collective now more than ever, like the exponential ability to just reach out and say something to someone and share your ideas, has simultaneously created this rapidity of rediscovery, So I'm really excited to be a part of it,
Yes,
and
and
I
you're
love
spreading the word.
I love being a Cancer sun because it means I love you and explains to me why people that I have affinity for, affection for, I love them. It doesn't matter. I love them no matter how they are or what they are. So, sometimes to my detriment, and definitely as I've gotten older, boundaries are a big deal. But as a young person, I wore my heart on my sleeve, and I still kind of do to some extent. So yeah, that's the new me. Okay, so I'm going to basically tell the audience that I'm sorry if anybody has any of these tattoos because because the sun sign has probably changed, and I'm going to review the 13th sign. I'm going to kind of talk about why it's been left out, why it's important. When you see cycles and you see synchronicities and you see numerical patterns, because Jason's work is chronology, he sees a pattern in chronology. He is of the opinion that we live in a simulated reality, that we have ability to control to some extent, but to a larger extent, we're not here to change. We're here to go through. We're kind of like a game we're supposed to play. Like you have to do levels 1, 2, and 3 before you can go to level 4. And that's where we're at. We're in this simulation that our consciousness is using these physical avatars that are jacked in through the nervous system to interact with the environment around us. I mean, it sounds fine to me. I can go with that. I've also heard, I've also seen, shows and documentaries about a holographic type of a universe. That, the math, when we try to incorporate quantum physics into our regular Newtonian and Einstein models, we get this idea that, the only way the math will work is if we have all these dimensions and it's holographic and it's being projected from some other higher dimension or lower dimension. Right. So, okay. So science is saying it, there's some chronology that's got some intervals in it that suggests there's a frequency, a pattern, a code, if you will. And then you can apply this code to certain events forward and backward in time. And you can also do that with eclipses in astrology. So yeah, I think, and if you want to, and then I probably won't go into all of this because this is kind of the fun part of the talk, the constants that I've figured out. But you guys may or may not have seen this before. When you took the Ophiuchus class with me, these are some of the slides that I gave to you guys to sort of talk about what is Ophiuchus. Why do we care about this constellation. It kind of shares the sky with Scorpio. So even if you did real line the zodiac wheel, the tropical zodiac wheel back with the sky, you really wouldn't even get a whole lot of Ophiuchus anyway. So because it forms a cross in the sky. That part of the sky where the galactic center is a cross. You have Ophiuchus and Scorpio, and then to the left is Sagittarius, and to the right is Libra. There's a mirror image of that on the other side with Gemini, Taurus, Orion, and Aruga. So we have these mirror crosses in the sky right across from one another. One is where the soul comes in, and the other one is where the soul leaves. So this is huge energy. This is, they left this type of energy out. This was the Gnostic teachings of Jesus. This was suppressed and hidden. And, sometimes you see the crazy people on the street muttering, about the Lord and the Savior and all of that. These people probably have very badly aspected Ophiuchus because they're tapped into something. A part of their brain is turned on that does not vibrate with the collective right now. Think about the Jesus energy where he came through with this message of oneness and loving and forgiving to a society that was not vibrating at that level. And so he had to go through all the trials and tribulations and make an impact. And it's echoed through time, so that's his immortality. That's his legacy. So it's free will, it's immortality, it's Christ consciousness. Is what we truly are here to learn and to be and to learn how to be creators. How's everybody feeling about that? Yep, pretty good. So these are the dates. Yeah, these are the dates if you want to be an Ophiuchus sun, and it's based on the midpoint boundaries. If you use the international astronomical boundaries, then it's a little bit longer than 11 days. I think you get 2 weeks. So but they're right on top of each other in the sky. It's not like they're side by side like the other constellations. So here's some of the energies that might be associated with Ophiuchus. The wounded healer, the golden gate, like we've talked about, the archetype of the ascended master. Asclepius can also be associated with this, a demigod, son of Apollo. Was a figure that was deified after death as well, just like the Christ figure. And learned the healing arts by Chiron, which is why we give rulership of Ophiuchus to Chiron, because Chiron is also the wounded healer. Imhotep of Egypt was the one who comes in peace. He was born of a mortal woman and was also deified as well. He was a physician, a sage, an architect, a government official. There isn't a whole lot on Imhotep, but he was deified after death and then equated with the god Thoth, or Thoth. And then, of course, Christ that we've talked about, born of a human. He was a carpenter, a sage, a wisdom, a teacher, performed miracles, reanimated the dead, was crucified, died, and ascended. And then Quetzalcoatl of the Mayan faith, the feathered serpent. This was another immaculate conception by a deity. So they would take plant medicine, the mushrooms, and they would go to the galactic center. They would go through where that veil is very thin at the center of our galaxy and come back with the knowledge. So that's Ophiuchus. I mean, it's very powerful.
Can I help you with pronunciation?
Yeah, sure.
That is powerful. Yeah. So it's Quetzalcoatl, and the TL is kind of like you have a fat tongue. It's Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
And so it Quetzalcoatl. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Or Quetzalcoatl, or you can do Quetzalcoatl like that. That's kind of how I say it, but I know a lot of people say Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl. So the TL just kind of, you have it fat in the back of your mouth and between your teeth.
Kind of sounds like the snake. Like a snake would talk.
It does. The hiss. Yeah.
Cool. So why in the world would we not let humans have this information? I mean, why in the world would this happen? So it's because we went from a society that was horse and buggy to hadron collider in a very short span of time. And this is something that Jason points home a lot. He says, look at how we've progressed over time. It's been an exponential increase in technology. And so what's happened over time is that our spiritual technology has not been allowed to keep up. Okay, so it's almost like we suppressed it in order to become more technological, while ignoring our spiritual evolution. So when we talk about vibration and frequency and things like this, it's this energy here. So, if you're in fear and grief and victim energy, you're going to be vibrating at a very low frequency. It doesn't matter what technology you have, you're never going to wake up to your true power. And so you go through these spirals and you evolve and then you get to the point where you have contentment and boredom, and you're right there in the middle. Because you can also spiral up too much and vibrate too high. Like that, I was worried about that today because I spent a lot of time, just in sort of contemplation today, that I might talk too fast when I got on here tonight. So, sometimes you can vibrate too high, but to bring it down here in the middle and have this balance, it almost looks like, if you were to put this on top of each other, doesn't it look like that toroidal flow of energy I was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You're taking in the joy, the knowledge, the passion, and to be able to hold that in a space of contentment is acceptance, right? That is the fine line between boredom and contentment. It's acceptance. So we try to evolve, we try to move on, but understanding these concepts, because I think we'll probably get off into a tangent there. I'm hoping we will. I want to talk about some of the metaphysics that I get into, because I think it will help set the background for, what happened? This slide was on a longer slide, and so it doesn't fit. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll make that smaller.
Ooh, iMystic says Kundalini energy with that,
yes,
the spiral. Yeah.
Exactly. That is literally that space in the sky, from Scorpio on the bottom underneath, the part of our energy, the part of our Kundalini that can be controlled, all the way up through the heart chakra and into the higher chakras where we are the creator God. So yes, that's exactly what it is. So there's this concept of as above and so below, and what that means is that from the largest scale of the universe, you've got geometric patterning. You've got geometric energy. You have squares, cubes, tetrahedrons, octahedrons, dodecahedrons. You have these shapes that bear out. And then you have the same shape and structure bear out at the solar system level, at the human level, at the atomic level. So it's almost like there's these quantized levels where certain shapes bear out. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But basically, the concept of as above, so below comes from the mathematics of fractals and from the holographic principle that they use to explain quantum physics. So that's one idea that we use in astrology, which is why it works, because you can look up at the sky and what you're seeing is an enlarged fractal of the inner dynamics that are going on within your soul and your mind and your heart. So the wave particle duality is also another reason why it works, because these planets have a vibrational frequency which comes at us in waves, in cycles per time. Okay, cycles per unit of time. So you have the moon every 27 days. You have that cycle. You've got the Mercury every 88 days. You've got Earth every 365 days. And so these energies have a pattern. They have a frequency. And when we observe it, that's when it becomes the particle, the thing. Okay, that's basically how it works. That's what they say in quantum physics. Nothing is a particle until you're actually observing it. So it's weird, but it works. And then, of course, electromagnetics and gravity. We are all emitting frequencies and receiving frequencies. So you have the sun burping out all this extra solar activity, and then you've got Earth's magnetic field absorbing it. And then you've got a planet that moves in between that, during Mercury retrograde, and you feel the vibratory energies of Mercury moving through that space. So
Teresa said Walter Russell's work, is that the guy who worked on all the physics? Walter Russell?
Maybe if you had a book title or a link, Teresa, that'd be good. And so we have these frequencies, that are being emitted from the bodies. We are transmitting and receiving frequencies. And so we have the option, we have the choice, what level we want to vibrate at, whether we form a constructive pattern with it, a destructive pattern with it, or we completely nullify it. Which means that there's a power here that a lot of people didn't even know that they had, right? So if I tell you that, you know, Mercury's coming retrograde and how do you get through it smoothly, I might tell you that if you are more mindful of your thoughts, if you're thinking positively, if you're speaking positively, that when Mercury is in a certain stage of its cycle, that the retrograde period might be a more positive time for you. If I said that to you, you may not believe me, but if you try it, you will see that it actually works. And so there's a way to work with these interference patterns that we're getting from the outside. And you guys have seen the frequency videos. I showed y'all that last week. But basically, there's a vibratory frequency that's been changed. And it happened early in the 19th century, and before that, there was a frequency of 432 hertz for music. And all of a sudden, this company decided to create and change the baseline frequencies that we get. And look at how different it is. It's not beautiful geometry. It's this sort of mushy, sort of not symmetrical frequency. And that's what's coming through the airwaves right now. So you have to wonder, you know, are these planets here? Are they for control or protection? There's a book called the Hermetica where, you know, Hermes or Thoth is speaking about the gods, and he's saying they're so powerful. What are you going to do here? There's no way you can control them. And he say, but I will create the zodiac and I will enslave them. And so it's almost as if, you know, this zoo of animals, this ring around the solar system is the thing that is actually enslaving us a little bit. I don't know. Is it all astrology, or is it just this particular form of astrology? It's really, really ingrained. You know, these are some Bible verses that, you know, might suggest that we do have the power, and that if we know our stars, that will give us a clue of where our power actually lies. So is astrology the distraction, or is it the key? You know, that's what you have to ask yourself when you're doing this. If you're a discerning person and you're using astrology, is it actually working out for you? And I think that the reason that I resisted the tropical astrology so much is because I knew something was not quite resonating right. It wasn't resonating in that 432 frequency. It was in that 440 frequency for me, you know, just a little bit off, if that makes sense. And so basically we've got this powerful ancient knowledge. We've got the Kundalini rising. We've got this cosmic perspective, our place in the galaxy. It's a source of our sovereign power, where we get our creative inspiration and our immortality through our legacy. And so it's a powerful energy, and it can be used. It has no polarity. It can be used in service to self and in service to others. And in service to self, it's used to control people that would otherwise not know that they have their own power. And I would say that 70% of our collective is in this state where they don't even know that their energy is being used for someone else's higher purpose that is not in service to others. So that's where we are. And so my hope is that an awareness of this part of the sky is able to be grasped by more than just me and a few of my closest friends. I would like for more people to be able to understand this, power and what this means. So here's actually, I was making this point earlier. Here is the ecliptic belt. Here's that zodiac belt. And this is the actual sky. And here is this galactic center. And this is also a spot where, you know, maybe I'll go off on a tangent with them about what the hell is the actual sky? You know, I mean, if it is a holographic projection, there's something really special about the galactic center. There is something energetic. If you're sensitive at all to it and you can actually see it, and all, like the best vision I've ever had of it was when I went to the Grand Canyon last year, around May, June of last year. It was perfectly clear. There's no lights. And you see every dust cloud and void that is in the galactic center. And so if this is an artificial sky, then there's something being burned away. The veil is a little bit lifted. You can see through the holes.
Mhm.
in this part of the sky. There's something definitely energetic and amazing coming through.
There's something there.
Yes. And one of the interesting curiosities that Jason has studied is the Mayan calendar. And
Mhm.
a lot of people thought that the Mayan calendar ended in 2012. And he actually published a book while he was in prison prior to 2012, explaining that the Mayan calendar didn't actually end in 2012. I mean,
Mm.
and the reason is because what they were anticipating is the alignment of the winter solstice, or I'm sorry, the winter solstice with the galactic center. Okay, we're pretty close.
Oh,
We are
okay.
within
Yeah,
about
that started a new era for them, right?
yes, we are very close. We are within within 2 to 3 degrees of that. But if you actually follow that alignment, it won't be the actual solstice on the point of the galactic center until 2178. And that is a very important year
Oh.
for the prediction work that Jason does in Archaics. And I just think that's super interesting. And here's why they followed the sun and the solstice rather than the equinox, because I don't think the equinox was a thing prior to the Tetrabiblios and the Western tropical astrology. I think that they watched the solstices because it was the inflection point of this movement of the sun. Like
Mhm.
imagine watching this every single day, every single night. You see the sun move through the sky. It gets higher and higher at the summer solstice and then goes down and down and down. And it's actually scary because the sun is lower and lower in the sky. And so you wonder,
Mhm.
is the serpent going to swallow the tail? Is the sun going to disappear? And that's where all these sun spirals come from, I think. And so they knew that there was something special about the alignment of the shortest day of the year with the galactic center, and they anticipated its arrival. So it's a changing of the ages, and we are on the cusp of that. Yeah. So I'm Mystic says the planets only control you if you believe they control you. Spiritual growth requires becoming conscious of your beliefs and learning. Yes, exactly. All that stuff.
Mhm.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Uh, My
So
Mystic has a great channel, by the way, if you
oh yeah.
guys are interested. Yeah, he really does. He does well, he did do tarot readings, but he does do postings of tarot readings, and his
Okay.
explanation of the cards and their energies is awesome. So, nice little plug there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So cool. Am I making sense so far?
Yes,
Is
yes,
it
I
gonna
love it. It's
okay,
very
yeah, it'll go a
interesting,
lot
intriguing.
slower on Saturday because I'll take more
Mhm.
time, but I'm assuming some of you guys have seen this before. So I'm just gonna show them the difference between the two zodiac wheels without too much complication. You can see
Mhm.
that they're different sizes, and that, where my sun is as opposed to where it is in tropical is a little bit different too. And then I'm gonna show them that eclipses are kind of a big deal. And I'm going to go through the whole eclipse point energy that we've talked about before. So why there are events, how it kind of ripples forward and backward in time. I think that'll be a very interesting segue into the Phoenix numbers.
Oh, the
So
Phoenix
the
number.
Phoenix number, yeah. So the Phoenix number is 138, and it comes from this periodicity of catastrophic events that have been documented throughout history. He's got these beautiful, amazing charts that you can look at on his website or download to see. But he'll have it like laid out for you, and the events, and then the sources to back it up. And
Oh,
he's
wow.
also
I've not
noticed,
heard of the
yeah,
Phoenix numbers. I'm not
yeah.
familiar with that at all.
So yeah, this Phoenix phenomenon. So it comes every 138, and I've found that number in quite a few orbital
Oh, that's the
numbers.
thing? That's the thing in the
Yes.
sky that oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm excited to share that. I didn't want to give you guys everything tonight. I wanted to
Yes.
save that
Yeah, a
for
little bit of
Saturday.
surprise.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes. Well, that's good. I think that's a great presentation. You have everything kind of lined out. And did he provide like a list of questions or
Oh
uh
no, it's gonna be so whatever it is. It's
unscripted?
fine.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Right. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm so excited. I am
Yeah.
so excited for you. I will definitely be there.
Lynn says matter was made from light, plasma, and labs, showing that we come from light. Yeah, I've also heard of an experiment where they took the like this hermetically sealed DNA of a lizard, and they took and then a salamander, and what they did is they shot a laser through it, through the salamander onto the lizard DNA, changing it into the lizard. So it went from salamander to lizard because a laser took the light codes from one DNA and gave it to the other.
Oh,
And
interesting.
it was, yeah. So DNA is also part of those light codes, for sure. Yeah, and there's even a theory that we're moving into a higher density region of space in our galaxy. That there's a band of higher density light that we're moving through, and that's why people are rediscovering things. That's why psychic abilities are coming online. It's why we're just sort of observing all these timeline splits and everything like that. So yeah, we're going to go deep. I'm going to talk about everything and anything that I've been thinking about around these topics, and hopefully we'll have a cool conversation. And I am going to offer to read his chart, to show it to him, to convince him that, his astrology is correct with the stars. So cool. All right, cool. Yeah, we went a long time tonight. That's good.
That's
going
to be fun. I would like to see his mind blown for that. Oh, yeah. Good. How many people are in?
I think the most we had was 18, but that's good. That's more than we've had.
That is
so
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do a live next
the
week.
other day, and there was 0.
Oh,
it's okay.
I've had those days too.
Yeah. Well, I'm a small channel, and then I do my lives during the day. It would be it's harder for me to do it at night. So it's a special occasion. So awesome.
Definitely. All right. Here's on this ticker. Here is the, if you want to chat with us on Saturday while we're talking and leave comments and support us, that is where you go, at RKX138, and you have to be subscribed to comment. So if you would go over there and subscribe to his channel, you won't be sorry. It's really cool information. I think you'll enjoy it. So, all right, Ms. Dezarey, I'm going to hit the end stream. We'll hang out and talk for a bit. Okay.
It is. It's cool. I like his. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.